Hey there, welcome back to Level 1. This is the second episode of my devlog series. In case you haven't seen my first video, I'm trying to create my first game using Unity without knowing anything about the platform or C#. And hopefully with the knowledge and experience that I get from doing all this, it's enough for me to try out a few game jams later and then actually start to create my dream game, which I won't reveal just yet. In this video, I took my shitty game from last episode, did some black magic and stuff, and then bam, now it looks like this. I don't know about you, but seeing it go from this to this makes me so happy. So what did I do? To answer this question, let's rewind back to when I finished uploading my first video, which you can watch by the way, link is in the description, but I have to warn you, it's really hard to watch, even for me. Because it was my first video and I wasn't really experienced with the audio and the editing. I'm still trying to improve, but hopefully this one's a little bit better than the last one. Anyways, so I kept playing the game after I've uploaded my first video, and man, the game really sucked. Because the player already has its own HP bar, why do they have to protect these random hearts at the bottom of the screen? Which made the game really confusing and difficult to play. So I scrapped the hearts idea, and instead, I made a better layout with cannons around the entire screen. The way it works is that these cannons will always point at the player. Kinda like this, which looks so cool. It really feels like the player is in constant danger and have to look out for attacks 24/7, giving the game a lot of tension, and there's never a boring moment because if the player stops moving, they're gonna get hit. Again, just look at how these cannons keep pointing at the direction of the player as I move around the entire screen. Doesn't it look awesome? When the cannons make a shot, the player has to react really quickly, and if they manage to dodge all the balls, then they get to enjoy the satisfying moment of watching these balls collide and disappear. Next, I heard that there's a way to make a really bad game go from looking something like this to this. I think it's called bloom. I don't know. So I added some bloom and post-processing, and I think my game looks so good now that it could be blended into The Witcher 3 as a minigame and it wouldn't even not work. But seriously, I was so surprised how a little bit of bloom and a bit of grain can make the game look so much nicer. The bloom effect makes any plain color, like the red from the enemy or the blue from the player, to glow and sort of bleed into the surroundings, and it really makes the game pop as a result. But yeah, next I made sure that enemies who can deal a lot of damage have bigger balls, if you know what I mean. And this way, the player will be able to tell how much damage they will be taking if they touch the balls. Bigger balls also mean it's easier for it to hit the player, and also easier for the player to destroy it because there's less chance of missing such a large object. I don't know, just thought it's an interesting balance to the game. Alright, now that I have the game looking okay, and the enemies doing what they're supposed to do, which is try to kill the player, I then started to build the levels for the game. I decided to go with a wave system for this game, kind of like Plant vs Zombies, where you clear each wave by killing all the enemies before the next wave will appear. So for this game, each wave gets harder and harder. I really try to keep this game very simple and straightforward by only tweaking the enemies a little bit for each wave. So this means each wave has the same enemies and the same graphics. The only difference is their behavior and stats, and to achieve that, I made a difficulty manager game object where I can manually preset the waves by typing in the number of enemies in that particular wave, the rate at which the enemies spawn and come out, the enemy's attack cooldown, their damage, and the speed of their balls. This approach is the simplest way I can think of to do the waves. If you know a better way to do this, please leave it in the comments below. Because this is a small and fast-paced game, I've already preset 20 different waves, where it gets really hard towards the end. And when I say it's really hard, trust me, it's impossible to beat wave 20. Well, I tried and I really don't think any living creature could beat it, but if you want a challenge, be prepared to fail. But yeah, the game starts off with wave 1, nice and easy to give the player a sense of hope, and then it quickly catches them off guard as they progress to a high level. And level 20 is the one where you kinda need a 600 IQ to predict and react to these big balls. And they are so big that they will actually kill you with one hit. So I don't really think anyone can pass wave 20, If they do, then they're not human and they should go back to Mars. In the next couple of devlogs, I'll be adding power-ups and other stuff into the game. And then maybe, just maybe, Wave 20 will become beatable with these power-ups. I currently don't have many good ideas for power-ups, but if you got any good suggestions, I'd love to hear them. Well, this is it for Devlog 2. Thank you for sticking around, and the remaining of the video will just be me trying to beat level 18. Feel free to like and subscribe so you don't miss the next video. Thanks y'all.